docks that went out into the lake toward the first turn. And those docks, the drivers that came into town to race for Labor Day weekend would take their boat, float it out to the end of the docks, and then as kids here in DePue, we used to go out and hold the boat for the driver. They didn't have to lift them the way we do now. They would start while they were in the water. 30 to the 3, guys, 30 to the 3. But we would get a quarter a day for hanging on to a boat, which was big money back then. All right, 30 to the 3, guys. We're on it. 30 to the 3. $250 runabouts. Get them to the water, guys. $250 runabouts. You are up after C, racing runabout. We've got 8 of them for you. Now the H81, you're going to be kind of interested there. That's a roll-up runabout. And he'll roll it up. There he is. Devin Huff. Justin Gibson. Jonathan Nielsen. Doug Martin. Aaron Proctor. Aaron is a nurse in the ICU up in Indiana University Methodist Hospital downtown in Indy. That's where they take all the drivers from the Indy 500 that end up having to go to the hospital. And Aaron is in the ICU area. All right, Duke Johnson on the water, we see. Jonathan Nielsen in the R2. The V113, the yellow and black of Justin Gibson. $250 runabout. Get him to the water. $250 runabout. There's Aaron Proctor right there. And we'll look to see, there's Devin Huff in the H81. The blue of Tim Weber giving you a wave. Duke Johnson. All right, they get ready to go. We give these guys 4 minutes to get ready to go. Coming up now on the 1 minute gun here shortly. All right, as they now swing around to the backstretch, getting ready to go with heat number 1. 250 runabouts, get them ready to roll, guys. 250, you're up next. All right, look at the gaggle into that corner. Everybody wants that inside line. Look at this. They're coming on through, some of them swinging wide now. Whoa, Somebody cut across the whole front end of the field as they come up for the start. Devin Huff out front with Martin and Nielsen. All boats are legal. All boats were legal. Good start as Devin Huff along with Martin and Nielsen for that second and third spot. Down the backstretch now. Devin Huff in the Jack Campbell entry. Out front of Martin and Nielsen. Devin now will roll it up on its side a bit. Coming through the bottom corner. The two Washington boats out of the Steve Greaves entry. Swing way wide. Coming up for the lap number one. Whoa! Unbelievable. That thing got so airborne. These guys run a big, wide bottom to get air underneath it, and boy, did he get air. White flag now. One more lap to go. What a save, fans. Unbelievable. As Devin Huff out front in the Jack Campbell entry. Watch him set up and kind of roll over onto the left. Duke Johnson now has moved into that second spot. Down into the bottom corner now. Campbell entry with Devin Huff at the wheel. Out front looking for the checkered flag now. Devin Huff out of Dorr, Michigan in the H81. There's your winner right there as he finishes off. And the R2 boat. Jonathan Nielsen really did a heck of a job to get that boat back on the water. love you. All right, pal.
Okay, race fans, don't forget the 50-50 tickets still on sale down at the east end of the park at the Little Beer Gardens. And we'll give you an update on the total as soon as we get a count. $1,200 yesterday, and I'm sure we'll probably surpass that today.
Well, our next class up will be 250 runabout with Mike Werner out of Dunnville, Ontario, Canada. He'll be in the familiar black and green number 55, the number that J.J. Walls and Tim Small raced for a number of years for the Brinkman entry. The Rich Career entry, the cream-colored X51, Rich, a home builder out of Indianola, Iowa. Jackson Hall, your defending champion. Jackson Hall in boat 51, red and yellow and white. Kenny Orr will be in the Y200, the blue with green. Michael Smith will be in the N62. Out of Mexico, New York. Mike Creer out of Ollie, Iowa in the X50 orange boat. Brian Palmquist will be in the 77T with the clear deck boat. And Paulie Bosnick out of Williamsfield, Illinois in boat 23, the DePue colors.
Okay, are you ready for this? 50-50 fans. The initial count, $1,617. So make sure you get your tickets. Someone could be walking out of here really happy tonight. Might want to contact the DePue Police Department and give you an armed escort to your car or call an armored car company. We're at $1,617, and we still probably got about 4 hours to go before the winner is drawn.
Again, 250 runabouts. Get them ready to go, guys. All right, our winner in the C Racing Runabout, the H81 of Devin Huff, unofficial, the R2 of Doug Martin, and the S79 of Duke Johnson, your third place boat. All right, 250 runabouts. Get them ready to roll, guys. You're up next. All right, the 77T of Bruce Nicholson. You are on the clock with about 3 minutes to go to get down to the water and be ready to roll. Again, Bruce Nicholson's crew, you got about 3 minutes or less now. So quite a run for Devin Huff as he came out of that bottom corner, but before he reached the 500-foot buoy, he spun across, as I called it on the air, spun across probably half the field toward the outside, but because he was in between the last pin and before he reached the 500-foot buoy, he was not in a problem area that could have been disqualification. So again, 250s. Bruce Nicholson's crew doing some work, trying to get him ready to go is Brian Palmquist. All right, we understand that they're in the boat. Again, our 250 runabout, they're a 15 cubic inch motor. Again, the speeds have climbed so dramatically in the 250 runabout category where they're reaching over 90 miles an hour with a 15 cubic inch motor running about 12,000 RPMs. Just amazing what they've been able to do. In fact, they've had to increase the boat size to where they're running 13-foot boats, which we were running 500 and 700 motors on back when. In the new design of the Career design, along with Derek Gessler building the same kind of a design with that downforce up on top of the deck, has made boat racing in terms of runabouts so much safer than it used to be. 30 to the 3, guys, 30 to the 3. That deck, the way that it downforce on the nose of that boat, I've only seen one boat blow over backwards in the Career design boat. And that was Rich Career a number of years ago down in Florida at a Race for Kids site that we were at. But he'd hit something and it blew the boat up and over on him. All right, there it is, guys. 700 runabouts, Heat 1A, to the water. 700 runabout, Heat 1A, to the water, please. All right, the green flag is up. We are on the clock. Mike Creer, your design build guide of the Career runabouts in the orange boat on the water. Paulie Bosnick, also in orange with the little blue. Rich Creer, Mike's brother, now heads to the water. We've got 8 of them for you. And we see Jackson Hall and Brian Palmquist, Mike Smith on the water now. Palmquist just coming out now. They'd had some kind of trouble, but were able to fix it and get Brian Palmquist on the water. Here's Mike Creer in the orange boat. Oh, Paulie Bosnick went dead in the water down by the start-finish line. Paulie now trying to swim over out of danger into the middle of the course. Rich Creer right here in front of you. Oh no, Rich Creer, well, he started to load up, but he got it to clean out. Jackson Hall now. Jackson, your national champion in 2021. Mike Creer now will swing over. Heat 1A, 700s to the water. Heat 1A to the water. Again, Heat 1A to the water, please, of 700 runabouts. All right, here they come out of the bottom corner now. Mike Creer on the inside. Jackson Hall up through the middle. Here they come, Rich Creer. The bookends with Creers out front with Mike, Rich, Jackson Hall. Good start, all boats legal. As Rich Creer trying to grab onto his brother. As now Jackson Hall up the inside. Gets alongside of Rich Creer. Now Rich pulls away as Mike Creer out front. Mike, a farmer out of Ollie, Iowa, out front. And a master craftsman at building boats. Mike Creer now down the front straightaway. 3 wide for that second spot with Rich Creer, Jackson Hall, Brian Palmquist, and Mike Werner. Oh! Oh, he spun into that corner. All right, we need to get that safety boat over to him. All right, we understand that he did put his hands up immediately. Again, the red flag designating the drivers to slow down and come off the course. Well, there's Mike Creer, Rich Creer, Jackson Hall, Mike Werner. That probably was Palmquist then. That went over. All right, if we get ready to go, we're deciding on whether we'll go to the 700s first heat or come back and rerun this heat. Well, when you go through the corner at the kind of speed they're going now, there's what's called a chine on the outside. All right, 700s, get them ready to go. Heat 1A. Well, that was Brian Palmquist that went over in the corner. The chine is a strip on the outer edge of the right side of the boat, and going through at speed with the lumpy water that he was in, if that motor or boat rather, if you'll hold your hand out flat, and what'll happen is when you've got your hand out flat, as he's running through the water, it will dip on the right-hand side in the back, and once it dips into the water, then its centrifugal force is going to put you on your head. And that's exactly what happened with Brian Palmquist. All right, 700 runabout, Heat 1A. I need Andrew Thurlby, Joe Frank, John Peters, Jason Saylor, John Matthews, Daniel Hooten, and Kyle Nicholson. You are in Heat 1A. 1B will have Andy Kurtz, Brennan Birkland, Jersey Holman, Jacob Emmons, Nick Hoot, Derek Gessler, and Austin Vanover. So there's 7 in each of the heats. We then will come back. If we still have more than 12, we have to come back with heat 2A and 2B. So we'll wait to see if we have any drivers that have such catastrophic trouble that they're unable to answer the bell for their second heat. All right, listen up, guys. We're going to go 700 heats 1A and 1B, and then we will go 350 hydro. So the next two classes are 700 runabouts, heat 1A and 1B, and then we will go to 350 hydro. So we'll have to rerun that heat, as Brian Palmquist out of Diamond Lake, Illinois, he'll not be eligible for the rerun, but he will be available for the second and third heat if they did not damage the engine. Well, one of the things that has occurred in terms of safety over the years, the drivers have a bungee cord that they have attached to the electrical system of the motor. So in this particular case, where Brian was tossed out of the boat, that bungee cord will pull the ignition off the motor. The electrical system will shut the motor off, and hopefully it didn't take any water in what we call hydraulic. Back in the old days, you didn't have that. When you went over, the motor was still running, and it was sucking water right straight through the case. And if you had anything left after that, you were very lucky. Terry Zemer, who is here on the grounds, I had Terry and her husband Joe Johnson on our podcast a few weeks ago, and we talked about safety, and Terry was one of the kind of the catalyst, if I could call that, where she got tossed out of the boat, and it turned around and it got her. And it did some damage to her leg, and she was very open about it, talked about it, and was really happy now with the safety that we have here in outboard racing. So again, fans, we welcome you on behalf of the DePue Men's Club, along with the host club, the U.S. Title Series. We're hopeful that you're having a good time. There's been a lot of talk about if you want to get into boat racing, I got an idea. Just walk up to any driver and ask them a question, and they are happy to visit with you, and they can point you towards equipment, 30 to the 3, guys. Heat 1A, 30 to the 3. 700 runabouts. I call them the 100-mile-an-hour rockets. 14 feet in length, 40 cubic inches, 700 cc's on the back end that we're turning 12 to 15,000 RPM with that methanol fuel and a little caster. The folks at PowerMist have the perfect blend of methanol, the purest of all methanols. All right, there it is. Now we get ready for heat number 1. Again, speeds right at 100 miles an hour. Andrew Thurlby, Joe Frank, John Peters, Jason Saylor, John Matthews, Daniel Hooten, and Kyle Nicholson on the water with you. John Matthews driving the Tim Chance entry, the V20. There's John Peters going across, along with John Matthews and Andrew Thurlby. Kyle Nicholson in the other red and green boat. Joe Frank in the blue, 67. Daniel Hooten in the red, number 4. All right, as they get ready now, looking for that 1 minute gun to go off in about 10 seconds. All of them headed out on that back stretch except for one as he comes up the front straightaway. John Peters out of Arlington, Washington. Driving the J.W. Myers built the J-Dub. As now he circles back around again, trying to lose a little bit of time. All right, as they get ready now to get over onto the backstretch. Jason Saylor in that black trim clear deck boat. He won the 500 yesterday. Again, heat 1B. Get him in the water, guys. 1B in the water, please. 1B, you're up next. All right, as they'll now signal around. Come go to the outside, to the inside. Less than 20 seconds now for the start. These are motors, you squeeze it, it's going to put you in the back of the boat. Got 10 seconds to go now as they spread out across Lake DePue. Here they come. Andrew Thurlby in the middle. John Peters on the inside. Saylor on the hip of Thurlby. Frank, the 3 red boats in tandem. Peters on the inside of Thurlby. All boats are legal. It was a good start as now Hooten moves out. Oh, Hooten's motor just let go and sits over on the backstretch now. John Peters on the inside takes the lead. Down that front straightaway now with Andrew Thurlby on the outside. Saylor now cuts across to the inside. John Peters and Saylor trying to get by Andrew Thurlby now. Saylor coming up on the inside. Saylor now moves into the second spot, but Peters with a great lead through that bottom corner now. John Peters and Saylor John last year had great speed, but just could not keep that motor running, as now Sailor, Thurlby, Joe Frank for fourth. John Matthews for the fifth spot, and Kyle Nicholson for sixth. Now comes Peters out of the bottom corner. One more lap to go. John Peters out front. Sailor for second. But Peters with great speed out of that corner. Sailor just not able to close the gap. Heat 1B, get him in the water, guys. Heat 1B in the water, please. John Matthews in the Tim Chance entry. Along with Kyle Nicholson out of Florida. And Peters, your winner. Joe Frank will finish in the fourth spot behind Jason Sailor for second, Andrew Thurlby for third, and John Matthews will finish fourth, and Kyle Nicholson will finish in the sixth spot. Well, a heck of a run for John Peters as he came down that front straightaway on the inside. And once he got to that corner, he never looked back. As Peters out of Arlington, Washington, your winner, the top three with Jason Sailor being second and Andrew Thurlby finishing in the third spot. All right, Heat 1B coming up to you now with Andy Kurtz out of Clio, Michigan in boat M8, a clear deck boat. Brennan Berkland in the V9 out of Hampton, Illinois in the orange and blue. Jersey Holman in the purple R22 out of Kent, Washington. Jacob Emmons in a black M96. Jacob from Muskegon, Michigan. Nick Hoot from California, clear deck C111, a brand new boat. Derek Gessler in the 99 out of Minnesota. Derek in a clear deck as well. And the green with the checkered flag ribbon on the nose of Austin Vanover. Those are the boats eligible for Heat 1B. Again, we had 14. We can only put 12 on the water at any given time. So what happens is we run 2 heats of racing, then we'll check to see who had the top 12-point finish. And if there's ties, then what we do is we go to the stopwatch to make sure that we get the fastest guy for the spot. So again, Daniel Hooten will pull him in, check him out to see if he's going to be able to run in the second heat, trying to get points to be able to get to that final 12. All right, 30 to the 3, drivers, 30 to the 3 for heat number 1B of 700 runabouts. Again, your drivers, Andy Kurtz, Brennan Berkland, Jersey Holman, Jacob Emmons, Nick Hoot, Derek Gessler, and Austin Vanover. All right, we hear him firing it up. Coming out onto the water, Nick Hoot, Derek Gessler. Birkeland now fires up. .350 hydros. Get them to the water, guys. .350 hydro to the water. Again, .350 hydro. You're up next. There's Austin Vanover in the green boat. The M47, a newlywed. He and Aaron Pittman, now Aaron Vanover. There is Nick Hoot, along with Derek Gessler. Jersey Holman now. Jacob Emmons and Brennan Birkeland. Well, Jersey Holman in the 500 runabout had a heck of a run yesterday. Let's see if he's got something in that 700 as well. Andy Kurtz in the M8. Well, as I mentioned yesterday, Andy's a little person, but man, he has it all. Great driver out of that Kurtz family. All right, as they get ready now to come around on that corner, about 20 seconds to go for the start. Austin Vanover, he wants that inside line as he comes around on that corner. Here they come with about 10 seconds to go. They're on it as they come up that front straightaway. Gessler. Nick Hoot, Jersey Holman, Austin Vanover. All boats are legal as down the backstretch now. Look at that fight as Austin Vanover moves into the second spot. Look at Vanover and Holman. Mike Weened, please report to your trailer. Mike Weened, please report to your trailer. Mike Weened, to your trailer, please. Jersey Holman now on the outside. Derek Gessler, Austin Vanover, Nick Hoot, Brennan Birkeland, Andy Kurtz. Down the backstretch now. Gessler out front of Vanover. Vanover trying to squeeze him, but Derek out front in his own build. Derek and Holman, look at this. Holman on the outside, Jersey. Just moved into Michigan from Washington. Running really well. Look at this. Unbelievable speed. Jersey now gets out front. But now look at Gessler coming back. Austin Vanover willing to stay in that third spot and not want to get into that mix. As Holman, look at this, dives deep on the outside. Unbelievable between the two of them. One more lap to go. Jacob Emmons just going by. Jersey now out front. Emmons giving him some room. As Jersey now up the inside and puts him a lap down. Gessler in that second spot. Vanover, Nick Hope, Birkeland, and Andy Kurtz. Looking for the checkered flag for Jersey Holman. Jersey Holman, your winner. Derek Gessler for second. Austin Vanover finishing third. Nick Hoot finishing in the fourth spot. With Andy Kurtz fifth. Brennan Birkeland will get the sixth spot, and the seventh spot goes to Jacob Emmons. All right, 350 hydro. Get them ready to go, guys. 350 hydro. What a run for Jersey Holman. Great job side by side with Derek until he found a way to get around him. And then once he did, he was gone, as Derek finishing second. The third spot went to Austin Vanover. There's Jacob Edmonds sitting out in the infield. All right, we get ready now for some real speed, demons, with the 350 hydro. With Curtis Nydall, your defending national champion. He'll be in the white boat with the black lettering, boat number 17, from Bristol, Wisconsin, Curtis Nydall. The yellow and brown of Eric Wilson out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He'll be in the boat 300. Curtis's father, Pete Nydall, and the president of the U.S. Title Series, Pete Nydall, will be in the white with the brown trim out of Bristol, Wisconsin as well in boat number 6. John Palmquist driving the Mike Schmidt entry, the MSR entry out of Boca Raton, Florida, the black boat number 20. By the way, congratulations to Michael Schmidt. This is his 50th year in a row that he's been at Lake DePue